modern equipment, projectors and things of that nature. He used an overhead projector, the old fashioned. He was a white knuckling everything. Avid reader, taking newspaper clippings. He wasn't Googling shit. And see, he was assistant to Mayor Harold Washington and was fired with no support from people that looked like him in the mayor's office in Chicago for boycotting Columbus Day. And, most blacks turned against him. Most Negroes turned against him because no one could beat him in debate. He was vicious. Get the debate with Steve Coakley and Larry Elder about their racism in Hollywood, and you'll understand how powerful Steve Coakley is. I still watch his stuff to this day. And, people assume that he was on drugs and whatnot. He had a disease which caused his teeth to fall out, which caused massive weight loss, which caused congestive heart failure. And he continued on, and that broke his heart. I remember him breaking down and crying when he said that the people who loved him, supposedly had loved him so much, were going around saying he was on crack. And that hurt him. That broke his heart. And that's the Boule Sigma Pi Phi. And see, in that urn, you see the Gaga has a pawn over the urn. Inside that urn are the 13 families, supposedly elite families that rule the planet. And the one in the middle being the wizard. But the Gaga protects white supremacy with his paw over the urn and keeps other blacks at a subordinate poor level. And also, in the blind in terms of information. Steve Coakley brought this. This is Henry Minton, the founder of the Boule, Sigma Pi Phi, 1904. These are members of the Boule. Jesse and Barack Obama, members of the Boule. You see this nigga here. But let me go back to Barack Obama and Jesse Jackass, who were members of the Boule, Sigma Pi Phi, who wanted to pattern themselves after Skull and Bones. I'll do a video on the entire video on the Boule. But these are just members of the Boule. This alpha bullshit. This Steve Harvey. Now you see he has an alpha sign up. Now you see one of the reasons why he bites the white man's balls and he gets these opportunities. Because he made a physical sacrifice of Bernie Mac. These are the biggest bed wenches, traumatized bed wenches, lesbians, and faggots in the industry. Black. Tyler Perry, Lee Daniels. Lee Daniels, who's married to a white Jewish man and has adopted his nephews, and he said he will never teach them black history. And what kind of nigga is that? Oprah Winfrey, who people in Chicago made her a billionaire. And Chicago has the worst school system on the planet. But yet she goes to Africa and builds a school for girls. Monique, she didn't start trying to get conscious till they showed her. If she didn't play ball and get down in the ritual, she was out. And when she spoke on it, she became blackballed. Now she has to resort to an open marriage with her and her bisexual husband to eat. So Steve Coakley, you may not be able to see this picture. Dr. King was Boule as well. This is Steve Coakley in the hospital. This is Steve Coakley in the hospital. Excuse me. Let me this is his first trip to the hospital, in which he said they tried to kill him in the hospital. The nurses did. He was in a coma for 9 days. He came home, fell ill again, and this time he had had stated that he probably will not be coming back. This would be the end of him. And that's what happened. He passed away on April 11th. 411 information. You know, brother, powerful brother. This is his son, Stephen Jr., who's in Ghana representing, carrying on the legacy of his father. He's a spitting image of his father. Spitting image. And he's definitely a warrior. And he's over in Ghana. And to be honest, not wanting to toot my own horn, but I gave, I had a hand in helping him get over there and getting him set up by a Ghanaian brother that I was working with. And so, and brother Stephen, man, he's a powerful young man, man. He's going to do some great things because he's trying to set up a lot of camps. When I say camps, I mean houses that will be used for conscious brothers and sisters once they arrive over there to help them get established. Because he wants to build an entire, a whole nother entire black community over in Ghana, consisting of the brothers and sisters that come from the United States over to Ghana. Because you're promised, once you leave here and go to Ghana, you automatically get citizenship and resources are abundant, available to you. So, may Steve Coakley rest in power and continue to help me, with your techniques and how you learn to research. You taught me how to research. You taught me how to be, diligent and resilient and relentless in my work. That brother, along with Dr. Khaled, along with Chief of Staff, Brother Harris Abdul, along with my father, and the energy from my in-laws, and my ancestors, helped me today. And that's why I tell you all, love your ancestors. Make that connection with them. Don't spook yourself out by what other people may say that don't understand who they are. It doesn't make sense that you can make a conscious connection with an energy that you've never seen, but they tell you that you're wrong or it's voodoo or witchcraft to make a connection with energy that you have seen. It doesn't make sense. In other words, it's like, don't believe in your mother's energy that's passed, but believe in Peter Griffin or SpongeBob or non-existent deities that you've never seen. Now, how can that be right? And the people that you have seen that taught you how to tie your shoe, make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, wipe your ass, help you get in school, help you graduate. help you get in manhood and womanhood without being tampered with or fucked with. But it's wrong, brothers and sisters. I know you get what I'm saying, and I hope you got something out of this video. Once again, excuse the any inconvenience in the making of the video or any mistakes that I have made. And with that said, as always, brothers and sisters, Hotep, Black Power.